Okay, so we'll start with Principle 2. We just finished Principle 1 and its subsections. In the overview, this is what I showed you. We just completed discussions on the legal basis of torts. We'll go to Principle 2 now, types of damages. All right, so what are the damages awarded? You find them in Article 2197. Here's an enumeration. Actual damages or compensatory damages. There's moral damages, nominal damages, temperate or moderate, exemplary or corrective, and liquidated damages. Let's do a deep dive. Let's talk about actual or compensatory damages. All right, so we're using 2197 again as our platform. If you look at Article 2199, it will say that actual damages have to be duly proved. And 2201 and 2202 also says damages should be the natural or the probable consequences of the act. Okay, let's apply it to a bar question. All right, so there's a collision. You've been seeing this already. Okay, now here, there are damages here that are mentioned. Assuming the police report to be correct, what evidence and legal arguments will you present in court to justify the damages? Okay, so we isolate this question. So to prove actual damages, I will present evidence that is the pecuniary damage suffered, and they are the natural or probable consequence brought about by the act complained of. All right, so I will have to show official receipts of the document for the medical expenses, the testimony of the person who issued the receipt, and the expert saying that those expenses were necessary because of that incident. Take note under 2201 and 2202, there are subsections. There's unearned profits, loss of earning capacity. Take note 2205 and 2206 discusses situations for loss of earning capacity when the person died or when the person is alive. An heir may demand support for the next 5 years. There are discussions on insurance claims. Take note 2207, you cannot recover beyond the amount or beyond, based on the insurance claims. Attorney's fees will be discussed and interest as well. Now let's apply that to the bar question. Take note, we're talking about the natural or probable consequences. Uh, So there's this married woman crossing the street. She got bumped by by X, recklessly driving, hospitalized there, fees. She was unable to report for work, earn a salary. Okay. What is the source of obligation? This has been discussed in Principle 1. This is a quasi-delic. So let's talk about this one. May Miss A claim actual damages? Later I'll discuss this. And later on, as we move forward, we talk about moral damages. For now, let's talk about actual damages first. May Miss A claim actual damages? Here we go. Compensatory, and then an earned salary. And then these are the legal basis: pecuniary loss, as required by 2199. And then 2205 allows recovery for damages of damages for impairment of earning capacity there. Now, in the case of Abrugar versus Cosmos, the loss of earning capacity, there was a formula given by the Supreme Court. So the life expect, okay, so this is the net earning capacity is life expectancy times gross annual income less necessary living expenses, and life expectancy there, 2/3 multiplied by the difference of 80. I'll demonstrate this in a bit. Living expenses is 1/2 of the gross income. Now, in Abrugar versus Cosmos, this was a case of a student without an income. But even if that student did not have a salary, that student was awarded unearned profits and the income was pegged at minimum wage. So what is the living expense for that? 1/2 of the gross income. Now, if there's an insurance claim, the insurance claim can cover, but only when payment is deficient can you recover the balance. All right, here's a situation. Here's a 2017 bar exam. Okay, so, okay, pause this video if you want, so you can study the question now. Now, this is question letter C. The minor was 15 years old, no earning capacity. Can you award loss of earning capacity? I think the answer is yes, because in Cosmos Abrugar versus Abrugar, a student without income was awarded unearned profits. So since the student was 15 years old, the life expectancy, this was the formula, so the student will live 43 years. The income pegged at minimum wage. A while ago, we discussed that expenses is 1/2 of the gross income, and the legal basis is 2206. Okay. Now, attorney's fees, you will see in 2208, as a general rule, there has to be a stipulation for attorney's fees, or there was exemplary damages, parties were forced to litigate, there was gross and evident bad faith, there's malicious prosecution or unfounded civil case. And there you find these discussions in 2208. Now for interest, take note, as a general rule, interest should be agreed upon. But if there's no agreement, 6% legal interest rate after a judgment is rendered, that's the time when the 6% legal interest rate will begin to accrue. All right, so that's it for principle 2.1 on actual damages. We'll be discussing principle 2, moral damages, after this one.